Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so checking the community board for what would you like to know about the journey. I got the question, what do the divine masculines experience on this journey? So I'm going to word it, what do they think is happening regarding this journey? So let's just see some questions. Let's ask the divine masculine collective higher self, what, okay, the first one I'm getting is, who do they think you are to them, divine feminine? I already got the Hermit. Oh my gosh, the message I just got for that is pretty cool. So yeah, the Hermit with the Four of Pentacles. Basically, they know you have something to do with their destiny. They know that this connection is an ancient thing, I'm hearing, and they know that you open their heart even when you're not in their life, that you represent an energy that makes them question their reality and question everything that they knew before you met. Let's see what the bottom of the deck is. The Page of Wands, you have also sparked the spiritual understanding. And for many, they feel you are the one that got away. Okay. So, what do the divine masculines think at this point will happen in the future for this connection? On the floor. What do we have? Wow. Literally, they know this is a spiritual connection that contains love. Right now they are in massive karmic cleanup, and it's almost like they don't know what to think of the future because all they can think about is what isn't working in their life, how they have not been following their spiritual self, wearing masks, keeping up with the Joneses, focused on the wrong things. They haven't been feeling deep fulfillment. They haven't found love. There's a lot of extra energies involved in the mix, whatever they're up to. When all the cards come out in the reverse, I flip them. And so they know that in the future, they're going to have to clean up this karma to come towards you and get right with their own spiritual knowing in this existence is what I'm getting there. So that's what they feel. They feel the future depends on them sorting out, streamlining, getting rid of drama in their lives, and then they would be free to come forward. Okay. What are they emotionally experiencing? I'm going to say it directly related to the journey, but not about you or for you, divine feminine. You know, the spiritual aspect. So emotionally, what is it that the divine masculines are experiencing emotionally at this time on the journey? They're pushing out of their comfort zone and becoming more humble. So this is tempering them. This journey is causing the divine masculines to slow down, prioritize, emotionally decide where their limitations are, what the boundaries are. Okay, in conscious mind, what do they think the journey is eliminating from their lives? What have they learned? What do they consciously know that they have learned because of this connection? What real world things? Wow, isn't that beautiful? They believe in love, alignment with higher self. You have inspired them. This journey has inspired them, divine feminine, to bring it back to what they really feel on the core level with their higher understanding, and to have unconditional love for others. So this journey and you has shown them, and the Two of Pentacles is peeking out, and the Hermit again. So in these times of separation, in these times of distance, this is exactly the journey of love that they have understood it to be. They know that this connection has shown them how someone can love unconditionally from their own side of the energy, and you have been love in action in your navigation of this. So it's both sides. I'm hearing it's two sides of the coin, but it's also been at a pace where there can be integration and these things applied. Let's see what real world things have the divine masculines transitioned away from and put in the past. Okay, we got quite a bit here. The first thing that came out is the Two of Cups. So they've moved away from this, you know, this used to be, I'm gonna just say, for me personally, this is an interesting card to come out, because we think that the twin flame journey, which we do have this twin flame caduceus symbol here, that it is something that we're meant to go forward to. But what I got from this card is that they have transitioned away from the old way of looking at love connections, from thinking of it as this two energy. This used to be the marriage card. When I began reading cards in 2014 professionally, this card used to be the #1 card that I would go to as my person kind of energy. Yes, it still is, but the divine masculines largely all thought that someone else other than you, divine feminine, was their person. And for me, in an older energy, before I had this deck, long before the twin flame symbol was on the card decks that I used, for instance, this represented marriage, but it's only a 2. It's only a deepening of the connection that way. It's minor arcana, and it's only the 2 in the journey to the 10, the full happiness. And marriage used to be the be-all end-all, and then it was the end. And I'm not saying I don't believe in marriage or otherwise, but this is only the 2. So I'm getting that, sorry about the backstory, but that card needed to come out to show that they are rethinking their old views on what love connection was. And then we get the non-traditional Pope in the reverse here. This has come out already for the spiritual connection. So they are looking at non-traditional spirituality. They've left some of the outdated views of religion and spirituality in the past, and they're really embodying their own version, or beginning to. They're leaving this existential crisis. They have come through the dark night of the soul. So for many divine masculines, they have literally questioned all of the dogma that they have subscribed to in the past that had it wrong, that basically hid in plain sight the spiritual truths that are more like the inverse of the colloquial sayings that we buy into sometime. The turn of phrase that cautions us to be more 3D based. There are certain interpretations of certain fear-based cautions about love and relationships that we all seem to have thought were guiding lights in the past. And the divine masculines are understanding that some of those things were gatekeepers, and that it's not for the faint of heart to try and innovate a trail past those cautionary signposts. So the divine masculines have really, you know, left long ago, and it's degrees of expression. I was going to say left long ago what others thought, but it's in layers, and it was a deep, deep seed becoming in the resilient divine masculines, all twins, from birth, set to blossom out through all the karma. So I'm really getting that the masculines, though, have left. Most of them have gone through the dark night of the soul that are being read for here. The temperance, the bravery, and the combative communication, the at odds communication, is what I see here, there is a humility, there's a warring energy, a competition energy that's been left in the past here as well. And that would stand to reason that this old paradigm of love relationships as objectification and ownership templates is falling away, and a more authentically spiritual, not dogmatic kind of religious idea or spirituality is emerging. Okay, really interesting messages there. All right, let's get into the Divine Masculine reading for today. Actually, I'm going to do one more with the Starseed Oracle. Let's see what the Divine Masculines are encouraged by spiritually on the journey right now. Aura cleansing, replenishment, renewal, and restoration. So this is like a doorway for the Divine Masculines right now. It's a untethered zone, and I'm staring straight at karmic completion. So it's kind of like the transition. Oh wow, and I get hydrogen atom. So you know, we get here, we get karmic completion, and then the replenishment and the new beginning in faith. So there's the leaving the 3D and coming into this new 0 point, that anything is possible. So that's beautiful. Divine Masculines. Okay, let's go with these. So thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest and most beneficial information coming through. What is it that the Divine Masculine Collective is thinking about the connection with the Divine Feminine today? What are the Divine Masculines feeling on the heart space? What are they wishing for the connection? What actions are being taken? What is the biggest challenge? It feels like a nice energy. It's like I actually feel like, I hope this is true, that the Divine Masculines are starting to get some really sweet smiles for no reason. Oh, thinking of you today, Divine Feminine, I'm feeling. Okay, so what is the Divine Masculine Collective thinking about the connection? Wow. So 10 of coins in the reverse and 9 of cups in the reverse. This is wish fulfillment, long-term abundance. And you know, the 9 of cups can sometimes be a card of gluttony and excess, especially when it's in the reverse. It can be a banquet table of insatiable need to have opulence. And this is a card of long-term abundance. It's usually pentacles, financial abundance, provision. It can also represent emotional fulfillment and family legacy kind of an energy, but all of the last rat race energy seems to be losing its priority, and Divine Masculines are thinking, maybe, wow, maybe they don't need to have this insatiable quest for success, financially, business driven, without space for you, Divine Feminine. It's like, what have I been thinking kind of energy? How much is enough? When is enough enough? When does love factor in? I'm hearing. Wow. So they're beginning to see, for many, that they've been on this track for success or focused on how to obtain that at the expense of the connection, that you have not been prioritized, and they're starting to realize that they've done that. On the heart space, what can we see? Moving this forward, and the card of free will. This is the 5 of Swords and the Chariot, but the 5 of Swords for me is, you know, it's typically a victory, a shallow win. When it's in the reverse, there's some accountability being seen, and the masculines are understanding where they have given over their energy and time to pursue things that are leaving them feeling like not totally fulfilled or lacking. That is kind of an energy of taking the easy way out, or going on what we know instead of taking a moment and seeing, is this the healthiest, the best, the most conscious decision I could make? 5 of Swords in the reverse brings that energy in. It brings in the energetics. The Chariot is Moving forward on the energy behind the scenes for me, this is multidimensional navigation. It can represent telepathy and astral travel and all kinds of intention and discernment frequencies that allow us to be confident when we say yes to things, to move forward in. So there's no more of this flimsy, irresponsible choices and just not thinking through things deeply. There is a desire to put that kind of spiritual immaturity behind and move forward full-heartedly, confidently. Having mastered the 3D, I'm being drawn to the pentacle, the necklace there, the honor of having transcended the 3D and come up and out of. So they see your relationship as an ascended representation of true victory, not worldly victory. So we did used to get energies where the divine masculines were worried what friends and family would think about the connection. For some reason, it was counterintuitive to what their group of souls around them would have to say about it. And here, it's more that the divine masculines have truly transcended those worldly beliefs and deciding what true victory means to them. That's a beautiful energy on the heart space. Okay, what are they wishing for the connection? The Hermit for the third time in the reverse, to come out of hermit mode, to have the strength, the balance to come forward, to come out of it, to now take what they've known and seen and apply it and move in that, no longer holding up in ego out of insecurity that they could do something like this connection, that they could integrate it in. A lot of mindset work, a lot of realization that time is ticking, that life is short, what really matters kind of energy. They're willing to come out of hermit mode, maybe even a little bit before their comfort zone, and come forward. They're wishing to. Okay, what actions are being taken? Yeah, freeing the mind and Page of Cups. So this is wanting to ground it, wanting to bridge from the hypothetical to the 3D. So the divine masculines are doing things differently in day-to-day life, where they're catching themselves and recognizing how they would have said yes or no to certain things because it was familiar. They're catching themselves and knowing that they don't have to be so disempowered and oblivious to the way karma rolls out. This is true karmic understanding and navigating with a premeditated awareness that if each decision is authentic, karma does not ensue. Wow, that's a very cool message here. So they're starting to see how you make sense, Divine Feminine, and how as they are practicing navigating their real world events this way, bit by bit, not just defaulting to what their instinct would say they should do, but considering the choice at hand, looking for the higher wisdom, because that will allow for a different result. The masculines are overcoming the insanity of the world. Isn't that stunning? The insanity of the mind. They're becoming very wise. What is the biggest challenge at this time? Being still and going to that place of inner knowing to discern the truth. Interesting, we have the Five of Swords again, which was on the heart space, seeing through the false victories. So they're still working on that, still challenged to see some of the truth and the healing regarding third-party situations. So this can be their own ability to observe their own karmic habits. It's a very masterful but newly budding energy here, where the implications of how karmic patterns were so easy to just keep gravitating towards and reinforcing. I'm seeing like our neural pathways, how we reinforce those and it becomes like gospel in our minds. The divine masculines are seeing through that literal imprinting of all the habitual ways of navigating, and so it is a challenge to go into the mind and shine that third eye searchlight and really question what is what and cause and effect and trace linear events so that they have full understanding of the subconscious. Wow, divine masculines, yes. Instead of strategizing external things, there is an internalized motion for the divine masculines that is a challenge, because it's one of those unseen energies that everything else hinges on, the new way of showing up. That definition of insanity, doing things over and over and expecting a different result. They're seeing the things they do over and over and wanting a different result genuinely. So that's the challenge. And we have, you're kidding me, the Hermit in the reverse for the fourth time the Hermit has shown up in this, but we're getting it in the reverse, which means coming out of Hermit mode towards the Ten of Cups. So divine masculines, the spirit guidance here is that it is time to start coming out of your shell, spreading your wings, freeing your mind. You have learned enough now by observing through observation to start applying the things. And you're making these choices in everyday life where you're catching what you would have done in the past and making a different, even minute, subtle adjustment to what you're saying yes to, how you're navigating now. And so you are on the way to your Ten of Cups happiness because you've caught your drivers and now you are driving the chariot. It's like the Emperor was asleep behind the chariot wheel here and the horses were running the show. In many chariot cards, the darker horse is unruly and running the show, like taking control. And now, look at that. The horses have merged into a single horse that's not at odds with itself, and it's integrated and going forward smoothly, more smoothly. Uncharted territory, I'm hearing. So yes, divine masculines, if you make every choice based on a newfound spiritual discernment, you are absolutely on track, and it's safe to come out and test your new awareness in real world ways. Where is the energy going? Oh, straight to the Empress, bit by bit. Divine masculines have made the decision to go towards their abundance, true abundance. Look at that, true abundance, and not the illusion of success, not the false victories, the gluttony, the opulence for worldly reasons. You know, this can be a root chakra healing because we're coming through this massive flip of prestige and now authentic fulfillment. Wow, wow, wow. This is just like it's playing out in real time. Okay, let's get the Starseed Oracle for the Divine Feminines watching. What can we see for the beautiful Divine Feminines? We are getting soul confidence, reassurance, and source essence. So this is like the Sun card, Divine Feminines. So your Divine Masculine is doing this. If you heard this reading, please take it to heart. This is how the spiritual foundation must align in your masculine's life in order for actual union. Again, it's not about the relationship as a romantic thing between two people, but it can only actually be that real fairy tale if both people know what they're talking about. And so that's why it's so painstaking, because the world has been a messed up place and we are all seeing through that illusion, reclaiming our power. So take heart, Divine Feminines. Keep doing you and fighting the good fight in your own, freeing your own mind, finding your own connection to source, because that puts wind in everyone's sails. And masculines, movement, opening and unfolding, the spiral of life. I'm just hearing divine masculines. This has been a time capsule. This is the moment we've been waiting for on the planet, and you are doing your share. So kudos, divine masculines. This is the unfolding, and it comes through you. It surely comes through you as your free will aligns with divine will and you allow it to. Many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.